Welcome in, everybody, to the Corner Ballpark here at the corner of Michigan and Trumbull and the site of the inaugural Corktown AFC match. Today, it's a friendly between Corktown AFC and a local Rebels FC. I'm Dan Connick, and joining me today is Frank Gargano in the booth. Frank, we talked last week during the live stream of the Corktown AFC training, and we were just happy to have anything back. Well, now we've got a game.
I know I don't want to seem like a broken record because I think I said it 3 or 4 times last week. Dan, I can't believe we're here. Now I really can't believe we're here because we have 2 teams matching up against each other on this Father's Day. Couldn't ask for anything more. And the weather held off.
I think that's the biggest part, is the weather held off, because we were very worried about any kind of weather coming out today and ruining this opportunity.
And, you got a live game. I mean, look at how much different the energy is today as opposed to last week.
Exactly.
Girls are out there. They're excited by the jock jams right now. They're ready to play.
Well, we're getting ready to get this game started. Let's take a quick look at the starting lineup for Corktown AFC. And in goal for Corktown AFC is going to be Alex Garuvo, and you've also got Zoe Hudson, Rachel Topolewski, Lexi Smith, and Lindsay Ushira on the back line there. Sammy Lopez, Sam Sklarski, and Audrey Start. And up at the top, you've got Paige Weber, Rachel DeLuca, and Kristen Bowes. That is your starting lineup, the inaugural starting lineup for Corktown AFC as we get started here underway. And early on, Corktown is on the attacking side of things. And we mentioned last week, Frank, about the talent that's on this team. And so expect to see a very attacking kind of mindset from this Corktown team, especially with the amount of players that they have on the pitch here. The setup of this game is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be 3 30-minute quarters or periods, however you want to call it. So it's not the same kind of setup that we're used to. And so it gives these players a little bit more of a chance to get out here and spend a little bit more energy, a little bit more freely, and be maybe a little bit more aggressive.
Well, yeah, and of course you want to get everybody in the game at some point or another. So this is a good way to divvy up some of the workload and also get to see more of this talent. I mean, we asked Coach at the end of last week's training session, what are some of the names that impressed him? And he was just kind of blown away and wasn't even able to answer the question because so many names went through his mind. So I think you're going to see a lot of people impressing today.
Here comes Rebels FC on the attack. Zoe Hudson back in defense, and she's able to quell any sort of attack there from Rebels FC. And we should just apologize right off the bat because we don't have numbers for Corktown players. We're doing our best to label exactly who's out there and who we can see making plays on the ball. And now Corktown trying to control the ball out of their own zone, get back on the attack. So far, a great crowd out for the inaugural game here, even just a friendly between 2 teams. But I think it helps that Rebels FC, a local team here as well, trying to get a little bit of time in. And made it really easy, a natural opponent for this first friendly match.
Well, Dan, it's Father's Day. I mean, of course, everybody wants to come out here and get better and play some soccer. But, when you're looking at it from the dad's perspective, they want to go out and support their daughters. So I think it's a perfect day out. I mean, with how bleak everything's been lately, with everything going on, it's great to see your daughter out there playing. I mean, think of all the memories that all these dads have of, taking these girls to just practice every day, taking them to tournaments across the country. So this is probably as big a treat for the girls as it is for them.
A really promising Corktown attack, quelled, but now trying to get back into it. Rebels doing a very good job of containing that Corktown attack early on here. And now they're setting up something here. Here goes, I believe, Maria Chazchalk on the attack there on the left side, and Zoe Hudson in defense. Ball played up to midfield, out of bounds, so Corktown will take over here. A good chance for them to kind of set up things on this side of the pitch. You know, one thing, too, to talk about, Frank, while we're looking at this great ballpark here, and should say right off of the bat, a huge thank you to Detroit Pal for everything that they've been able to do to set up here for Corktown AFC, as this played-in ball is a little bit too far out of reach. But again, a huge thank you to the Detroit Pal and Corner Ballpark for allowing Corktown the opportunity to play their games here, to do their trainings here, because the facilities here are fantastic. I just love, you can see in the background, there's people that are out in those lofts that are on their on the balconies watching the games, and that has to be a pretty cool perk to live over there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you're selling that apartment to anybody to lease out, I mean, what's the biggest draw? Okay. One, Corktown's a great area.
Oh, yeah.
On the come up, a lot of great restaurants, bars around here. You're not too far from really inside downtown. But also, I mean, any given day, you could walk outside and on your back porch and watch a game. I mean, how many people have that privilege?
Here's a little set piece from Corktown, played down and in. Not much of a threat against the goal, but Rebels able to contain it and try to get something going on their side.
Yeah, Dan, about 10 minutes in, still no quality chances for either team so far. Pretty even match right now.
I would agree. I think you could argue Corktown possibly has had maybe one or two that have looked a little bit more promising than what Rebels have. But yeah, agree. It's not been anything that's been too fantastic. And as I say that, that might have been the closest one we've had this year.
Sure.
Now here's a heck of a run going up for the right side on Rebels FC. But the Corktown goaltender, Alex DeRubo, out there and eliminates that threat. But a great run up the left side there, and then a nice played-in ball down the right side to flip the field.
DeRubo, a Canton native, goes to Ball State. We've got a Cardinal on the field.
We had a couple of Cardinals out on the field. I believe Lexi Smith, one of her partners back there in the back line, also a Ball State Cardinal. Again, so far early on, both these teams, you can tell, still trying to gel a little bit and figure out how to really operate in a full game setting.
Well, you know, I was thinking about this just from any games that I've played, whether it be baseball or football or anything like that. You know, the first little bit of gameplay, it's just kind of feeling out the other team. But since this is the inaugural match, it's a lot of feeling out your teammates as well.
Yeah, very true. Because so far, a lot of these girls, you know, a lot of them have played together already in different scenarios. And here comes an attack going up the right side for Rebels FC. Let's see what they can do. Can Corktown get back? And the offside flag is up. The ball played out of bounds either way, but that offside flag comes up. A promising run already, though, for Rebels FC there out of the box.
Yeah, that was Justice Tillotson, number 16, coming up the right side. Looked like a promising opportunity there. And apologies to Justice if I butchered that last name.
I have a feeling I won't say that I'll speak for the players, but if I was in the players' shoes and you and I both have some very unique last names that if we were in this situation where we had an opportunity and Deruvo makes a nice play again to stop the attack, and a little dangerous there. Almost a little just kind of lackadaisical play by the Corktown defense. Almost let something slide in there, but now coming up the other way, a little overplayed, and Rebels FC will take it back. But as we were saying, like if I was in this position as a player and I was getting the first chance to play this game, probably one of the few games that I'm going to get a chance to play this summer, you can call me whatever you like, as long as you call me to play on the field.
It's never the players that get mad themselves. It's always the parent that's just kind of disappointed because you're waiting to hear that name.
And totally understandable. Like I totally get it. I've done my fair share of PA announcing and microphone work, as have you. And I can understand the frustration that comes along with it, but we can only work with what we're given at a certain point.
And you and I have both had our fair share of faux pas in front of the microphone or behind the microphone, however you want to look at it.
Yes, yeah, we were kind of swapping war stories there before the game got started.
I think that's how it goes with media people. It's, you think you messed up? Like nobody's ever bragging about their accomplishments.
It's about how we messed up.
Let me tell you about my first broadcast.
I was just about to comment on Corktown AFC having a little bit of trouble controlling the ball and getting things down, but now getting the ball back here on a throw-in, hopefully you have a chance to make something happen here. Nice limbo. Oh, just outside of the reach.
Dan, I mean, just inches away.
Like if you can pull that down, you're sitting very nice for a one-touch shot at the goal. And Corktown, again, back here on defense, and we should mention the whole back end of this defensive side here, something that we talked a little bit about in that training session last week on Sunday. It's a whole MAC defensive backfield.
Isn't it beautiful?
Lexi Smith from Ball State, Rachel Topolewski from the University of Toledo, Zoe Hudson on the right side from Bowling Green, and then in the goal, Alex Deruvo from Ball State, as we said again.
Little match in here in Corktown, Dan.
Love it. Oh, and just a little, we're going to get a call here. I believe it is the offside flag going up. You know, it has to be the offside call in soccer. It's frustrating because it takes away what always looks like a really promising scoring chance. But it has to be a penalty that, you know, coaches really don't mind seeing that much, because at least it means you're being put into an offensive kind of position, you know?
Oh, yeah, you're being aggressive. I mean, when you're out there just trying to make things happen, we might have some trouble here, Dan.
Just a little bit.
Deruvo out way to play that goal, and it looks like the ball got behind her. No damage dealt there by the Rebels, but, I mean,
well, it's still got a throw in here on the left side for Rebels FC. So we'll see if they can get something going. Honestly, you know, we should mention there's been a couple of times here on the defensive side. I don't know if it's players getting caught out of position or playing too far up, but Rebels has had a couple of chances to get behind that defense and really make something look a little bit dangerous. As they're still on the offensive side of things, a shot that's going to go way wide and really have no threat whatsoever. Here's our first sub into the game for Corktown. I believe, again, we don't have numbers on the Corktown players, so we're trying our best to label them as we can, but I believe that's Gabriella Mancotti coming in. Here goes Rachel DeLuca up on the attack. She's got two going up the right side. Here we go. Let's see what Corktown's able to do. Up out in front. Tipped away. Ball still being uncontrolled. A little pass out to the front of the goal. There's no threat there. And Rebels will take back over. So we're about 20 minutes into this match, Frank, and we get to see the inaugural Corktown AFC goal.
There's been some good defense played on both sides today, Dan. I mean, I know we're only 20 minutes in, but so far, great job by both defenses. It's that Maction unit.
Exactly. Corktown with it up the right side, now trying to play more in middle. It's going to go away, and Rebels FC takes over. A little bit of a sloppy-handed attack from both sides there, and eventually Corktown gets a penalty called on him, and I should just say a foul. Excuse me. I'm still trying to get used to the terminology, Frank. But here up the right side for Rebels FC, they're going to control that. But again, another promising attack up the right side for this Rebels FC team.
Just so far, 20 minutes in, it looks like the Rebels are a lot more in sync as a team right off the bat. And I expect Corktown to really settle in here. But as of right now, you got to give it to the Rebels. Playing very well as a team.
Well, as you mentioned, this is the first time that we've seen this Corktown AFC team take the field as an actual team in a competitive setting, and so there's definitely a little bit of a feeling out period that's going to have to take place. Some of these players have played together. So far, the attack from Corktown, it's really been just one strikers. There hasn't been a settled down kind of organized approach. It's been very opportunistic. Well, Rebels, on the other hand, they've come few and far between, but when they happen, they're very organized, and the threat is very real. And this one here does not look like it's going to be one of those, as Deruvo is going to handle that. Now trying to move to the left side. A lot of clumping around the left side. It could provide an opportunity for Rebels if they can take advantage. We'll see. A lot of the players for Corktown, we've seen them kind of, at least off the bat, be a little bit more physical as well than this Rebels team. But handed to this Rebels offense so far, they've created a few chances, and they're trying to set up another one here. Into the middle of the pitch now, looking to move right side. That's been the dangerous side so far. They'll flip it, go left. And this one's going to be, I thought it was going to be handled by Corktown, but now Deruvo has to make a save on it.
Even then, a 3-on-2 attack chance right there, and still nothing materializing out of it. I mean, again, give it to the defense, Dan.
Yeah. Well, Corktown has controlled most of the possession here so far. A lot of it has taken place back in their own offensive half. And we have a couple of substitutions come back into the game here for both teams. Looks like about 4 or 5 in for the Rebels, only 1 coming in for Corktown. Again, the setup of this friendly match is going to be 3 30-minute periods. So still the same amount of time as the regular match. They're going to be just kind of broken up a little bit more to give players a little bit of extra time to rest and get more players rotated in. Zoe Hudson tries to play the ball up the right side, a little too far out of the reach of, I believe that's Rachel DeLuca. Let me take a second, another sub in for the Rebels here.
Dan, we were talking about a little bit about the new format today, and just one thing I didn't think of, which I really should have. It's also, you're not up to the conditioning for a regular game. A lot, we had practice sessions, but being up to game speed is a very different thing, and being up to game conditioning. So nice, I think Coach said 5-10 minute intermissions in between games. That's huge.
Yeah, that's a very good point. I mean, that's something that's been coming up in every single restart here as Rebels. Another chance up the right side, just out of the reach.
I mean, Dan, you and I would already be out there tapping our heads, looking at I'm going to need a sub.
No, it'd basically be like that, like 10 seconds into it. I'm going to need somebody. But, that's been the issue around all the startups for all the leagues is being in game condition. And we might be seeing a little bit of that from both sides a little bit here early on. The offside flag goes up on the Rebels attack.
And a lot of the girls last week, we were talking about them, and I think that was our number one question to them is, what have you been doing to stay in shape, to stay in game mode? And a lot of the girls have been doing a lot of things on their own. It's just a different feel.
Yep. Corktown will get a substitution in here as we get the sub coming in. And then the throw in back in for Corktown on the left side here. Ball played up. Here's a promising little attack from Corktown. Can they make anything of it? Looks like at least out of it they'll get a set piece on the near side.
Great defense by Rebel defender Sarah Fallon, staying with it on that one. I know we've got a corner kick coming up, but really stayed with her.
Let's see what happens on here. The corner kick goes a little wide. The header going to the right side. I believe that was Zoe Hudson again on the header. So it'll be a goal kick for Rebels, as they'll get a sub in as well. We should be getting here close to the first 30-minute break. Going to be played out. Rebels will have a throw in on the left side again. Couldn't control the throw in, so now Corktown takes back over again, getting close to the end of this 30-minute period. So we'll see how much time Corktown has to make something happen here. The game's moving very fast. I can't imagine there's much stoppage time or anything that the referee will have to add on, especially with it just being sort of a friendly tune-up match. Here's Zoe Hudson on the right side, now up. Played maybe just out a little too far. The offside flag goes up, and that ends the Corktown attack. A restart in from Rebels. Corktown takes back over. being swarmed, haven't been able to put anything up front, and kind of a header volley going back and forth between the two teams before Joey Hudson takes control of it. Pass just a little outside of the reach of her players on the left side. Now here we go, Corktown trying to make something happen here before the end of the first period. Going up the left side. Nice little move into the right. I'm going to pull it back out. Nobody there, just out of the reach of her fellow Corktown offensive members. And now here comes Rebels back on the attack. Oh, just overplayed a little bit. That was a golden opportunity to take advantage of a mistake on the defense for Rebels FC.
You know, we're almost half an hour in now. Like I said, you're going to see Corktown settle in. They're going to start playing really well together, and you're going to see a lot more chances on the offensive side of things.
Corktown with control back on their defensive end, trying to set up something up top. A couple players go down. Rebels takes over. And now here we go up the left side. Corktown's got to get back. Can Rebels take advantage of it? The ball looks like it goes out of bounds. Who does it go to? Looks like they'll give a goal kick to Corktown. Corktown will also get a few subs in here as well. Ball a little mishandled there on the goal kick, and it has to be forced out of bounds. And Rebels is going to take over and try to make something happen here deep in the Corktown offensive zone. Throw in, not able to control, so Corktown take back over and hopefully move this ball out. And nice long throw in. Still not exactly controlled by anybody. Rebels off of them. Corktown will get another throw in. Corktown slowly but surely moving their way up the field with these throw-ins.
It's all or us, Dan. I think both teams are really experiencing it right now. We're really having a hard time getting out of this area of the field.
As actually, excuse me, the ball goes back to Corktown. I thought the last one was off of Rebels. But Rebels have possession now. They're trying to set something up. And we're seeing this defense. We talked how this defense has looked so far, but it hasn't been as aggressive as some of these players are playing now. It's much more in-your-face kind of no breathing room kind of defense. Ball played just a little out of the way.
Well, you know how it goes. Once the other team starts having more opportunities, I know the Rebels haven't scored a goal yet, but still, once you see them start getting more opportunities, you take that personally as a defenseman.
Mm-hmm.
That's just going to amp your play up. Like, I know a lot of the girls are out there like, no, that's not happening again. Like, she's not getting by me again. Like, much like the Last Dance documentary, that Michael Jordan mentality, where it became personal for me, the meme. That's what happens. I mean, I know we joke about it, but it's kind of true.
Nifty little move there by Corktown to try and move things out. Still haven't gotten a completely way of danger. It's booted up the left side of the field. And Rebels will take back control. Rebels still with it. They're trying to move up now the right side. That's where they've had most of their success so far. Corktown defense trying to set things up. Long pass up the middle of the field, taken back in by Rebels, going back the other way. Great defense there by the midfield. But now right side played into the center. Rebels still with a chance, directing traffic, trying to go up the left side now. Pass off the player out of bounds. It'll go in for a goal kick. Alex DeRuvo been busy today back in the Corktown net. Not so much with any dangerous shots on goal, but just a lot of stuff coming her way. A lot of flag, yeah. Now an attack coming in for Corktown, stifled by Rebels defense, but taken back. Now going to the left side. Could look a little promising. As we get, there's the call for the end of the first period. The score still 0-0. Rebels FC and Corktown AFC in the first official friendly match for Corktown AFC in the team's program history. We'll take a short break during the intermission, and we'll be back for the second part of our match between Rebels FC and Corktown AFC. Stay tuned here on the YouTube stream and Mike Hujo as well for more of the action. up here in the booth discussing with you as we go along. I don't necessarily call it play-by-play, Frank, but we're more as like as fans observing and watching, which has been a lot of fun to just be here with some live sports action going on.
We're basically just casual fans with you, just keeping you company.
And so far, in terms of action, if you're looking for action scoring-wise, hasn't happened yet. It's still 0-0. A couple of quality chances from both sides. Corktown's been able to put together a couple of set-piece options. Rebels taking advantage of some of the defensive miscues from Corktown, but no one's been able to capitalize with a goal yet. As we're going to get a Falco here on the Corktown defenders. The Rebels FC player coming up a little slower, and that's honestly like out of anything that's going to happen today, that's the last thing you want to see for both of these teams is any kind of injury in a friendly matchup like this. That's really just to kind of get these girls back into playing form and have them doing something in the summer.
But when you're playing competitively like this, you're gonna get dinged up, and I think that's what we just saw. You get back. We talked about conditioning, but also getting used to taking all the bumps and bruises that go along playing like this. So it's gonna happen. We've seen a lot more physicality as times progressed, and especially right now that both teams, you've had 5-10 minutes to take a rest, got a little bit more juice out on the field, so you're going to see it.
The attack from Rebels FC just a little out of the way, so will end up as a goal kick for Corktown and goalkeeper Alex DeRuvo. Goes out of bounds. Rebels now takes over with it. A little overplayed. Could have been called a handball maybe on the Corktown player. Almost looked that way, but the referee was right there and didn't make a call. And now here looks like a really promising attack up the left side here for Corktown. Out into the left corner. Now back up into the middle. And played harmlessly away to the left side of the goal.
But a little bit better. A little bit more control on that attack. Tried centering it to the middle, just didn't work that time.
Ball played back in, and Corktown's able to win possession back. Defense for Corktown now playing up a little bit more, hopefully to help orchestrate some kind of offensive attack. Things looking a little bit more organized now. Nifty little play here down the left side. Let's see if anything can be made of it. Played now down the left. Gonna pull it back out a little bit. Now back up. And the Rebels FC goalkeeper will take control. Look at the offside flag there from the goal kick. You don't see that much. And really, that's been the thing that stopped a lot of these Rebels FC's attack. And the defense for Corktown has been pretty on ball, but a lot of those more promising ones, they've been stopped due to the offside flag going up. Misplayed ball. Corktown's going to take advantage now, try to play up the left side. He's going to pull it back a little bit. Now back on the attack. Nobody's there. Goalkeeper will come out to play this one back up the field. I think, Frank, that's probably the biggest thing you can look at to point to of showing kind of the rust, if you will, the unfamiliarity with players is, playing balls to those areas that you're expecting players to be in, and nobody's there yet. You don't really kind of have that second nature of where you expect your players to be.
Well, a lot of other sports, you're not as spread out. So, like in basketball, for instance, communication's key, right?
Right.
It's here. It's a bit of a guessing game where you have to think, all right, I've got to put this ball. Hopefully, they're going to be there to field it. And a lot of times we've seen today, we just haven't seen that be the case. But like a couple of chances, it's just been mere inches. So, again, not to be a broken record, but a lot of these things are going to be fixed pretty quickly.
We'll get a substitution in here for Corktown.
Woo. I don't care what shin guards you're wearing. That's got to sting a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, that's like, any sport, like taking a slap shot off of the thigh.
You just hear
it. Bean ball, once you hear it like that, like, it just hurts you up here.
But as a spectator, it felt pretty good to hear that, right?
Exactly.
It's like football season when you first hear that crunch of like the pads and stuff. And you're like, ooh, that sounds good.
Sports is back.
Yeah, like sports is back. Like that is so needed for everybody here in attendance.
Here's a promising little attack from Corktown. I think, if I'm not mistaken, an offside's called on the left side. Rebs with it, trying to move up the left side. Something could be happening here for them on the offense. We've said that a couple of times. They've looked pretty dangerous in a few of these offensive formations here early on and haven't been able to capitalize. And it looks like this will be another one of those. Just out of the reach of the left side attacker. And Corktown will take back over. One thing here too, Frank, was we see Zoe run over there to try to grab that ball. With a lot of these new precautions, like this is something that we've seen in all the other soccer leagues that have started back up. No ball boys, no ball girls to corral these balls and keep play kind of moving. The players are grabbing these themselves, almost as if you were playing like in the backyard.
Right, it's like your second job. And one thing to note, Dan, just strategy wise, I mean, if you have to look at this, if you're Coach Roy, you're looking. The Rebels are really staying away from that far side. It's like they're not messing with Zoe Hudson that much, and there's probably good reason for that.
Speaking of the far side, here comes a Corktown attack up there, but I think it looks like it'll just be too far out of the reach of the Corktown offense. Again, we apologize for not naming all the players in particular. We don't have numbers, and we're trying to name players as we can. Which is unfortunate because there's so much talent on this team and love to give credit where it's due when we can. And something I've noticed a little bit here, Frank, in this second section of the game, the Corktown players have been a lot more vocal.
Yes.
Than in that first part.
Well, it's got to be your message. Like, all right, we've gone through the first period of this. We've shaken off some rust. Now let's tighten things up. You have to execute better. I mean, it's just little things. It's,
That's probably the closest we've had to a shot on goal, or at least the most dangerous looking shot on goal. It doesn't even count as a shot on
right.
But when you talk about the chances that some of these players have had, the goalkeepers have been busy, but it's not been anything that's been super challenging just yet for either side. The goal kick played back in by Corktown. Now on offense. Oh, just a little too aggressive. And the referee makes the call, and that ends another attack for Corktown. But Corktown controlling again most of the possession and at least the attack of where the ball is going to be being played. Rebels is playing a lot of very reactionary, but doing a good job of taking advantage when they can.
And you've seen Corktown be aggressive to a fault sometimes, like that play back there. There we go, a little bit of action on the goal there. Still nothing, but, you know, we're starting to see a lot more back and forth. It's not so much of a stalemate.
Yeah, things are opening up a little bit more. Those chances are becoming a little bit more exciting to watch. Just a little over 10 minutes into the second period. Again, in the friendly match today, it's going to be 3 30-minute periods. So very nearly reaching the halfway point here. The ball played up again the left side. You see if Corktown is able to control it. Rebels does a good job of playing it back up. But Corktown wins it back there at the midfield. Now back up the right side. Corktown defense should be able to handle this. DeRuvo is going to play it back up. Now the left side again. Going back into the middle. Rebels still trying to control it. Player goes down. No call. That would have provided Rebels a very interesting opportunity. But now here, back the other way, goes Corktown.
Here we go. We might have something, Dan.
To beat. It's a wide open net. Can you get it back over, though? Not able to control it.
Oh, damn.
Out to the left side of the goal. I thought for a second it had been an own goal. But it will provide Corktown another set-piece opportunity on the corner.
I thought that was the one, Dan. I really thought that one was the one. That was a good juke move to the left. Had the wide open net, just couldn't center it to get anybody just a little bit wide.
You know, sometimes shots like that, those can be the most difficult because you know the net is wide open and you just have to get it back over into the center. But here comes the opportunity on the corner kick. It's playing off to the right again, so Rebels will take back over.
Good placement on the corner kick, though. I mean, just a little bit wide right. Damn, they really are starting to settle in. Those passes are starting to connect. They're starting to get some moves out there. I think we're going to see something soon.
And the Rebels goal kick all the way over the midfield line, but back now. Here's another promising attack from Corktown. Rebels defense doing enough to just get in the way and slow it down, but Corktown still on the attack, trying to control it back and set something up again. Pinned over on the left side, and the out-of-bounds call is going to go to the Rebels. Rebels trying to find some sense of offensive setup here. Haven't been able to find anything in the last few minutes. Trying to respond to the onslaught of attack from Corktown here. A great idea up the left side there again, but just a little out of the reach of the offensive players up at the top. Rebels still on a little bit of the attack. Corktown hasn't been able to clear it out just yet. A pass up the middle. Great defense.
Great stop
there. And now Corktown trying to press the issue the other way. Rebels defense going to at least slow it down, it looks like, and go out of bounds. So Corktown will have the throw in on the far corner. So another opportunity here for Corktown. Let's see if they can put something away.
And that's put together by great defense back there. I mean, that stop to have the awareness to guess what move the Rebels were going to take right there. I mean, just a huge stop in the defensive zone, and look at that. They're right here with another opportunity.
And it's going to be a long throw and into the box. Almost a pseudo corner kick, a shot on goal. It's corralled by the Rebels goaltender. An interesting kind of setup there to throw the inbounds pass all the way into the box. I know we see that as more of a desperation move, but the way that the offense seems to be kind of gelling and setting up here, you'd almost want to see something kind of organized a little bit out of that throw-in.
I think it's characteristic. It's just the nature of being an athlete, of when you haven't scored and you've had so many opportunities and you kind of get in that desperation mode.
Could be,
you get impatient. You just want to get that first goal.
Sure. And just another attack from Corktown, withering on the vine a little bit. Rebels back with their own attack now, going up the near side. We'll have a quick throw in. A few subs come in for both teams as we slow things down a little bit. Just hitting the 15-minute mark of this second period. Just a little over 15. Again, this is the second of three periods of 30 minutes that we'll play in this friendly match between Rebels FC and Corktown AFC. The inaugural match of this Corktown AFC team. Rebels still in control. Going to pull it back just a little bit to reset. A bit of a laser into the middle of the field there. Corktown able to control it, though, a little bit. Rebels gets it back. Still kind of volleying in between players right now. It'll go out of bounds, and Rebels will still have control inside the Corktown half. Corktown will win it back, now trying to set something back up on their defensive side. Nice play up the left side. Keep it in. Now back to the middle. Just a little bit overplayed. A bomb down the middle for Rebels. Derulo's going to have to play a little bit of a awkward kickoff of
launched it
there. Yeah.
Dan, Alex Deruvo's hidden talent that she filled out.
Yes.
She can say the ABCs backwards. Can you do that?
No, never.
Which is why do they make it as part of a sobriety test? Because I don't think many people can do that. That's why I want to bring this up in discussion, because I can't do it. You can't do it. This is Alex's hidden talent.
Yeah, it always made me worried that if I'd never be able to prove myself in the sobriety test if I had to say the alphabet backwards. But Alex has been practicing it, apparently. It threw me off too much because I still have to, anytime I think about what's alphabetical order, I have to sing through the song.
Yeah, you sing through it.
So if I knew it backwards, I don't know. That would throw me off.
Oh, we'd be there forever. I don't. Maybe it's just a thing they do in movies because I don't think any police officer wants to even take the time. Do you know how long that traffic stop would be? That's an extra 30 minutes of me trying to think how to say the ABCs backwards.
It would require other people to know how to say it backwards as well.
Right. There has to be another officer back there with like a list, like fact checking.
Like if I went up to Alex DeRuvo right now and tried to say it backwards, or she tried to say it to me backwards. However she say it, I'd say, yeah, that's right.
Sure. Sounds good.
And Corktown's been able to trust her so far. She's been doing a great job in net, handling everything. The ball played back in. Corktown defense trying to just clear it out right now. Rebels has been finding a little bit of rhythm here on the offensive side, at least controlling things on the Corktown side of the field. Ball played in way over the head of any defenders or Rebels offensive players. And Corktown take it back over. Now at the left side here, down the left field line, it's going to be just out.
Just foul.
Well,
you visualize all three fields right now. I mean, especially you've got the foul poles down there too.
Yeah. We've still got the netting up here. The lines are a little bit tricky to read at times. Rebels still controlling things in their defensive half of the field. Now Corktown wins it back. Can they set something up? Now going left side. Just a little off. Rebels wins it back. And the play of the right side out of bounds for the Rebels.
Ooh, good move right there.
Just about at the 25-minute mark here of the second period. Not much longer in this second half, and then we'll have only 30 more minutes. A foul called here just inside the Corktown offensive side of things. Only about 5 minutes left here before we go to our next break. And this really kind of the first set piece for the Rebels on the offensive side of things.
Yeah, not a lot of action down here for them in this period, Dan.
Ball played in. Handled nicely by DeRuvo. Corktown now back on the offensive side of things, moving up the right side, back to the middle. Rebels going to control it. Out of bounds, though, now, so Corktown will keep control. First time we've seen Corktown back on the offensive side of things in a few minutes. So we'll see what they can make out of this. A few more subs coming in and off for Corktown, and also taking the time. Got to run out to far right field to grab the balls every single time.
Well, I got a couple minutes left, Dan, so might not have too many opportunities. Got to make the most of this one.
Let's see what they can do. Going to play it back here, back to midfield to control things, set something up. Now Rebels, Corktown looking for the offside flag, but Ruvel makes a great play to save from Corktown, getting a goal possibly scored on them. Rebels still on the offensive attack, though. Corktown coming back on defense nicely, trying to slow things up a little bit. Forcing a bit of a retreat. And now taking back over. Trying to control it up the left side now. Rebels back on the offensive side of things on the far side. Ball played into the middle. Great job by the defense to control and keep things away from it being a set piece on the corner there. Just going to be a little bit to a throw-in.
You know, Corktown's defensive unit's done a great job keeping everything on the outside, not allowing a lot of centering passes to connect. And, you know, great job by Deruvo. One of the biggest challenges of being a goalkeeper is making all those decisions. I mean, amongst one of the many reasons why I could never do that position is I'm such an indecisive person. And, you know, the difference between staying back and waiting for a shot or coming up and hopefully make contact with the ball and clear it.
And you know what? I'm actually mistaken that it did end up being a corner kick. It must have gone out the backside there. I thought Corktown would have been able to keep it into the middle from where the ball went out of bounds, but
just wide.
Probably the best offensive that we've seen from this Rebels team so far. And nothing comes out of it yet. Still 0-0 as we get closer to that 30-minute mark of the second period. The goal kick played up, still possession trying to be found. Corktown able to get a hold of it. Now playing up the middle, just a little too far out ahead of the offensive side. Rebels takes back over here as we inch closer. A minute left before the 30-minute mark. Now Rebels with it back on the attack, up the left side. Corktown trying to run back on defense. They handled things pretty well. Nifty little move on the left side, centered in, taken away by the Corktown defense. But Rebels still controlling it. Bit of a lob pass into the center. Everyone going up for it. Corktown comes down with it. Now just a little odd man rush. But not in favor of Corktown, but here comes the attack up the left side. Rebels able to control it. Great back check there by the forwards for Corktown to win possession back. And that's how we'll end the second period. Score remains 0-0 between Corktown AFC and Rebels FC here at the corner ballpark. We'll step aside for another little bit, and we'll come back for the last 30-minute half here at the corner ballpark. Again, Corktown AFC 0, Rebels FC 0 here on the Corktown AFC stream. Welcome back, everybody. As we start the third section of our friendly match between Rebels FC and Corktown AFC. Dan Connick and Frank Gargano up here in the booth with you. I want to say thank you to all that have been watching with us on YouTube and Mike Cujo as the flag goes up here and ends the Rebels attack.
You know, last opportunity, Dan, you're going to see a lot of desperation moves out there to get that first inaugural goal.
There's got to be some kind of award, right? Like prize for being the first Corktown player to score the goal in team history.
Oh, it's bragging rights, man. That's total bragging rights. You know, you come back years down the road, take a deep breath, and you say to yourself, yeah, I scored the first goal here. And you tell everybody that story for years.
Hey, looks like we might just have it.
Oh, just over the top
corner. How apropos would that have been?
Tried going top shelf, a little bit of a curve just a little bit too much to the right. Dan, that would have been a beautiful shot.
I mean, the difficulty for that kind of shot right off the bat like that by itself is just an incredible shot to attempt, and to get that close is fairly impressive. Rebels now back in control. They're trying to respond. Going up the right side, flag stays down, so this is a good attempt up the center. And the shot not able to be corralled down.
And we've got a souvenir in the parking lot. So if you have any of these apartments over to the right of us, yeah, you got a soccer ball. Oh no, somebody's going to corral it.
I'm making the goalkeeper go over there.
I feel like we're in Wayne's World when they're playing hockey in the street.
She can't find it. I think you're right.
It's in the parking lot. So let's say, game on.
There goes. Somebody's running into the parking lot now.
There we go.
But yeah, you're right. Like baseball, soccer, everything over here, those cars are.
Ooh, babe, I don't want my car parked out there for a baseball game. No way.
Corktown now back in control after the ball is back into play. Rebels takes over. Almost caught Corktown out of position there. An amazing save. Our camera angle a bit cut off there at the end, so it looks like Corktown able to get this back off of a goal kick.
Surviving a couple scares in the defensive zone is definitely a big wake-up call.
Possession still trying to be fought for in there, the middle of the field. Corktown comes away with it, has a bit of a promising attack up the right side. Can they make something happen with it this time? Got past the goalkeeper, but great job there by Rebels FC in the defense to get back and help out their keeper. And now possession back their way. Up the far side. And the flag will go up. Now they're offsides. Rebels in control again. Both these teams trying to make something happen here in the last 30 minutes. Corktown able to clear that out of their offensive zone for just a little bit. Rebels coming back now. Corktown back in possession. Fighting up the left side for it. And just a misplayed pass up the middle of the field will fall harmlessly into possession of the Rebels goalkeeper.
That's a tough one, Dan. I thought we were going to have a real opportunity there.
I mean, how many times have we said that today?
I know. It's just, it's just a couple of missed chances, misplayed balls, some passes gone a bit wide. I mean, I still can't get over that last opportunity that went just wide right. Tried going top shelf. Ugh.
Rebels putting the ball back into play. Possession still being fought for. And Rebels FC will take care of it. Carrying it over here to the near side to try and set something up. Corktown back with it now. But being harassed, and Rebels wins it back. Now back in favor of Corktown. They'll settle things back here with that defensive line. And the forward pass on the near side out of bounds. They'll go back to Rebels FC. We've got a quick substitution here for Corktown. Rebels wins it off of the deflected inbounds throw. Trying to move it up the right side again. Nobody there to make any noise just yet for Rebels. Corktown trying to get it back out and control the ball. And here we go again. Corktown on the attack. Bit of an aggressive offensive move up there. Long pass. Unable to connect. Now Rebels has got it back. Corktown back in possession. Far move up to the offensive side of things. Now they're going to pull it back, control it down. Still an aggressive move here from Corktown. They're really pressing the issue now here in the last 20 minutes or so. Ball played into the box. No issue, though, for the Rebels goalkeeper.
There it is, Dan. Not trying to set anything up there, just trying to get anything on net.
And ball played out of bounds, so Corktown's going to take possession back over. We'll get a quick substitution. And take a second to send a thank you out to one of Corktown's inaugural sponsors, Regions Title Agency. Call Regions 248-336-2000 for all your real estate needs. A big thank you to Regions Title Agency being one of the title sponsors here for the inaugural Corktown AFC season. Offensive through pass, unable to make it through. Rebels has it back on their defensive side. The Corktown's still trying to press the issue offensively, but Rebels, a long through ball up the right side. Zoe Hudson is in pursuit, and she'll get there first. Play it back to the goalkeeper to set things up from the back line. Oh, a dangerous pass there by the goalkeeper back to Hudson. And the through ball up to the midfield, off the mark, out of bounds. So Rebels will take control back over again.
Dan, going back to Zoe Hudson, the Bowling Green Falcon, I might add. You tried having changed your major last weekend. 3 favorite movies. You ready?
Yes.
Scarface, Pulp Fiction, and Blow. You were expecting the. I was going to say your face says it all.
That's a really intense.
That's a hell of a lineup.
List. I mean, like Scarface and Pulp Fiction, those are pretty popular, movies in the zeitgeist. But like Blow, that's kind of a little bit of a deeper cut, and I respect that.
Just definitely not what anybody was expecting, I don't think. I mean, that's if you were having a favorite movie like rainy day watch kind of deal going on, like that's
See, let me pull out Blow. Corktown, meanwhile, in possession, but now giving it away. Just a bad pass across the middle. Can Rebels take advantage of it? Nope, and Corktown's going to get it back. Can they do something? Now up the right side. This looks very promising again. Stop me if you've heard that before. And it sails into the nearby construction lot of the Lofts.
And one lucky construction worker will be walking away with a soccer ball. I mean, you got to find like baseballs and all kinds of stuff out there.
Everything. I mean, this field was still here, like playable. It's been here for about 2 years, and I know the nearby Lofts has a large share. Oh, goal! And there's the first goal of the Corktown AFC team history. An absolute laser beam. I mean, if you're going to score the first goal in team history, you might as well make something like that. Wow.
Couldn't have said it any better myself, Dan. Just an absolute laser. I mean, we were talking about the construction area. They were so far away. I mean, maybe that's the strategy going forward, though. You've been trying to go inside so many times. Get closer, centering pass. Just launch it. Get something on net and absolute laser.
I'm still fairly new to a lot of these soccer terms, but I believe that is an absolute golazo. Is that the correct term?
Is that it?
A golazo.
Was that Italian?
I believe Spanish.
Okay, fair enough. Both Romance languages, understandable.
Exactly. But nonetheless, it puts Corktown AFC up 1-0 over Rebels FC late in this friendly match. Really only probably about 15 minutes left or so in this match. Corktown back on the offensive possession again, trying to extend that lead, do something more. Rebels, now you would imagine, probably needs to press that issue just a little bit more than what they have been. Not to say that they haven't been. They've been trying to take advantage of the opportunities when they're there, but now you almost try to see them maybe force something here. But meanwhile, Corktown in possession, and they will dictate the rules of play here. They'll settle things down near the middle of the field, trying to go right side with it, corralled. And it's going to be kicked out of bounds by Rebels, and Corktown will take possession over it on the far side. I got to tell you what, Frank, as just a broadcaster, to be able to call an actual live goal like that, the first one in 4 months now, That was special. That's a really special goal for this team as well. And Corktown still in possession, trying to give us another one here before we wrap this up. Up the left side, the through pass not able to make it in. Corralled though still by Corktown, still dangerous. Another shot just sails over the top of the net.
Now they're starting to dial in. Now they're really aggressive.
And you would imagine that this just kind of builds on itself. Remember, next week, Corktown will have another friendly matchup here at the ballpark. We'll be streaming that game with you as well. You'll be able to watch it right here. And ball out of bounds. Corktown will take possession here on the near side with the throw-in. Rebels taking back on their defensive side, trying to set something up to get the equalizer here and at least draw even before the end of this match. Now Corktown winning it back in possession. Rebels pressing the issue a little bit, trying to force Corktown. And even more so here in the second half of this third portion of the game, Craig, we've seen the offense really gel, but what we've really seen is this team's passing kind of settle down a little bit too. Control of the ball has been much more crisp here in the second half of this third part of the game.
Yeah, it's all part of getting to know each other, especially in a game atmosphere. That's one of the big things that you see is a big difference is seeing passing settling down.
Few more subs in and off for the Rebels FC. Take another chance to thank our other title sponsor for the inaugural easy enough for me to say, Frank, inaugural season for Corktown AFC. Starting Line Health and Fitness. Looking to get an edge on your opponents? Don't wait. Contact their expert trainers at 248-844-3913 or visit them at startinglinehealthandfitness.com. Hard work pays off. Again, a thank you to Starting Line Health and Fitness for being one of the title sponsors here in the Corktown AFC inaugural season. And can we get goal number 2 here? And we do! A nice little tip pass. And Corktown AFC holds a commanding 2-0 lead here late in the final minutes of this friendly matchup.
You know, Dan, I thought that opportunity was too far gone, a little bit too much to the left side. I didn't know if you were going to be able to center it. Great job. Nice touch on the tip-in, too. Like you said earlier, I mean, sometimes when you have a wide-open net, that's when the pressure is really on. Didn't try to do too much with it. Just a straightaway tip-in. Good goal, 2-0.
Coming up here on just about the last 10 minutes of this game, Corktown AFC with a 2-0 lead over the visiting Rebels FC. And here's another chance now taken away pretty quickly. That ended fairly without any real threat. But Rebels not able to take advantage of it. And that's been kind of the story for them is they've had several opportunities here and there throughout the game, but have just not been able to really challenge the goalkeeper and defense for Corktown here. Another long shot there from the Corktown offense. Everyone's trying to get now on the celebration.
Yeah, the Rebels are just facing a barrage right now, an all-out attack. And, you know, as much of a cliche as it is, you know, momentum's really starting to build. First it's 1-0, then it's 2-0, then the pressure's on the defense for the Rebels to keep them away and get back into their offensive zone. But, I mean, if you're Corktown AFC, that first goal really lifts your morale and you really start having fun out there. You know, the pressure's up. The first goal is always the hardest, especially inaugural. Who's going to be the one to do it?
Corktown getting a little bit of a set piece here. You're going to kick out of the corner. A little high and wide. Possession still trying to be taken in, and a little chip shot in there from Corktown. Handled pretty easily. Rebels now trying to push the issue the other way, but nobody really there to cause any issue. And we have a penalty, or excuse me, not a penalty stoppage, but an injury stoppage as a Rebels FC player. Able to walk off the pitch. Looked like it may have come from that corner that came in, took something off of the head, maybe an elbow or something like that. That's never fun. And as play restarts back up, Corktown in possession again, trying to just wind down the last few minutes of this friendly match between Rebels FC. Now pushing the issue up here offensively. Can they do it? Just a little outside. And that Rebels FC goaltender has been under barrage all day today and has held up very admirably. Rebels FC will have the throw in here, a couple substitutions as we're getting closer and closer to the end here. Remind you that we will have a few interviews after the game concludes today with Corktown AFC head coach Aaron Roy and a few of the players as well. There'll be plenty to discuss here from today's game, which right now is looking like a 2-0 win over Rebels FC. It seems like the attack, at least offensively from Rebels, has kind of been pulled back a little bit. As we get a goal kick here from the attack from Corktown. But yeah, 2-0 here late, Frank. It seems like this one, at least the result has been kind of written at this point.
Well, yeah, and they're starting to dominate. I know they've kind of pulled back on the aggressiveness, the physicality. They're not trying to take too many open shots and really push the issue here. But just looking at the way they're playing, they're kind of dominating if you're looking at ball possession and passing and that. And they're still in their offensive zone. They're looking for 3.
Pass out to the middle. Nobody there, just there. So now Rebels able to clear it, but Zoe Hudson controls it and brings it back down for Corktown AFC. Off on the right side will be a throw-in for Corktown. That is a bit of a jump. That's the farthest part of the outfield fence there.
You take a jog out to center field. Whoever your favorite center fielder in history, do your best impression.
You're basically in somebody's backyard there, too.
You are.
Ball back in play. Rebels has it, but the through pass cut off by Corktown, keeping it on the offensive side. And the through pass into the goalkeeper taken away, and Rebels now back in control. And they find something here offensive positively. to finish off this match. Here's something up the left side out of play. And we get a few more substitutions on Rebels FC side. Probably won't see too many more of those as we're getting closer and closer to that 30-minute mark. And one more quick one on here for Corktown. Nifty little move here. Kind of shut down, out of bounds. Corktown's going to have to throw back in, but still pushing offensively is Corktown. Have been in control for most of this game, and it's now finally paid off here in the last third part of this game with 2 goals in quick succession.
I mean, Dan, correct me if I'm wrong, but the Rebels' attack here has just been non-existent these last couple of minutes. Really haven't been able to get anything going.
No, you're right, and I think it's more resignation to the result of this game more than anything. With it being a friendly, you're not competing for points or anything, and just kind of almost at this point keeping everybody healthy and going home that way. That's been the key. Coach Roy has talked about that, especially is, no matter the outcome of any of these matches or trainings or practices, whatever, it's ultimately keeping people healthy is the ultimate goal. And if we can do that, then I don't mean to sound cheesy, but we all kind of come winners that way.
Wow, Dan, that was pretty cheesy.
I know.
There's no way around that one.
I know. Corktown in possession on their defensive side. Not really pressuring things too much. Inside the last 5 minutes of the game. Ball out of bounds in Corktown. We'll bring it back in here. Still hold the 2-0 lead. We'll come away out of the match with the victory over Rebels FC in what is their first competitive match as a team, albeit a friendly. But still the first time we've gotten to see this Corktown AFC in a competitive setting. And they come away with what should be a 2-0 victory. Rebels doing something a little bit offensively here near the end of the match. Can they get something out of this? Disrupted a little bit by the defense. And Corktown doing what they can to clear it out. Rebels trying to control it and keep it in, but aren't able to. And Corktown will have the throw in. Here comes Corktown, another quick offensive set. Can they get one more here before the game ends? Looking fairly promising. Into the box. Defense for Rebels coming back. Trying to pull it back out now. Do something with it. Back to the end line. Across the pass. Handled by the Rebels goalkeeper. But still just another impressive offensive look. And that is how the game will end. The first game in Corktown AFC history ends in a 2-0 victory over Rebels FC. We'll step aside for just a minute or two. When we come back, we'll be joined by Corktown AFC head coach Aaron Roy and a few of the more notable players from that Corktown AFC team for a couple of quick interviews. And thanks for sticking around on the stream, everybody. We're getting head coach Aaron Roy onto the stream, as well as one of his Corktown AFC players should be joining us here in just a second. But to wrap up again, Corktown AFC, a 2-0 winner over Rebels FC in this friendly matchup at the Corner Ballpark. Corktown AFC's inaugural match as a team. This friendly matchup here in unique circumstances, as everybody I'm sure is aware that this is not the season that Corktown AFC had originally planned, but to be able to have this kind of situation, Frank, and play a game like this, at the very least, like this is a spectacle in itself to have a game up here played of any kind of quality.
I mean, first you're battling the pandemic to get the girls on the field, and then you look at the forecast today, and Dan, it wasn't looking promising, and look at that. I know we talked about it before, but the weather held off, came out, got the first goal in history, and got a win. You can't ask for much more.
And we do apologize for not being able to accurately describe who had those goals, because we've been very hard pressed to accurately identify the players on the field. We don't have the jerseys just yet, but I'm sure Coach Aaron Roy has all the details about it, because if anyone is involved in Corktown AFC, it's Coach Roy, and he knows exactly what the deal is. And if anyone can tell you about it, it should be him, and we should be getting him on here very shortly, we hope. It looks like we might be getting him in here very shortly.
It's always fun being able to watch everybody trying to figure out equipment.
Yeah. Here we go. Looks like we've got Coach Roy jumping in here just shortly. All right, and let's bring in Coach Aaron Roy, winner in Corktown AFC's inaugural match. Coach, thank you for joining us here in the post game. Just real quick, overall thoughts on just being able to get to play a game of any magnitude out here at the ballpark in the midst of everything we've been going through.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and to finally, we've been doing a lot of training, and to finally get a match under our belt against a tough Rebels FC team. They work hard. They really give you a run for your money. You can't take any breaks against this team. So the ladies played really well. We got better as the game went on. And I told the players it's only a matter of time. We were a split second off on our timing for some of the ball sending through, but it finally came together, and I'm proud of the players. So it was a great first game for Corktown AFC.
How much of that at the beginning was sort of just the players trying to feel each other out in a game environment as opposed to the trainings, or is it just getting back to that first game atmosphere in the very first game here? Like how much of that was it strategy, and how much was it players kind of getting settled in?
It was a little bit of both. The players, for many of these players, this is their first time playing a full-sided match together. So, the tactics with this group, they're so intelligent. There's such an advanced group of soccer players that it's easy to relay tactics. It's easy for them to apply what you're saying, and so that wasn't so much of an issue. But actually feeling each other out and taking some time on the field to really get used to how each other plays. That was a big part of it, but you could tell by watching the game that, after the first couple of periods, once everybody settled in, we moved the ball like clockwork, and the players started to play off of one another really well.
Coach came away with the shutout. How impressed were you with your defensive unit today?
Oh, we were a little rusty in the first 10 minutes, but we ironed it out, and Coach Jeff Shook had a big part of that, communicating with our backs and with our keepers and getting them all on the same page. And once things got ironed out after the first 10 minutes, we were gold. It looked great, and the players felt good about what was happening.
Coach, it looks like you've got a player down there with you. Do you want to introduce who you've got joining us today?
Yeah, this is our player of the game, Kristen Bose. She played fantastic. She played a couple of different roles for us today. She was up top, wreaking a little bit of havoc on their back line to start off. And then, when we needed some more energy in the middle of the field, we dropped her back into that attacking mid-roll, and she brought so much energy and creativity that it was, choosing a player of the game for today was pretty easy. So I'm gonna give you Kristen.
Great.
Hey.
Hello, Kristen. How is it feeling to be done with the first real game of the 2020 season? Did you ever think you'd be playing a game out here today?
Yeah, it's great. I think that it was obviously up in the air, and getting to play our first match together has been an awesome experience, and I'm excited for the future.
Coach kind of mentioned a little bit of the rust that was there in the first 10, 15 minutes. What was it like for you guys kind of being out there, finding people? As a player, when you're trying to get through that rust, what's the best thing for you guys? Is it just communication off of the field? Is it getting those opportunities that actually start to work and get you in the groove? What's it like for you guys out there?
Yeah, I think it's actually just minutes together, and the amount of times we can connect and slow down the play and start to learn how each other play, and the different qualities and strengths of each individual player, especially going forward, being creative, what types of runs players like to do. So I think, in the future, it's going to just get better, and with more trainings under our belt, really working functional and tactics, it'll really make us even stronger than we were today.
Kristen, obviously you guys had a couple of chances in the first two periods of this game. What was the message from the coaching staff? Was it just kind of be patient and settle in, and everything, good things will come?
Yeah, it was keep creating, and we were so close, and in that third quarter, obviously we finally put that piece into place, and hopefully in the future it'll come earlier. in the match.
Well, Kristen, thanks again for taking the time with us today. Congratulations on the 2-0 win. And, great job today.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, and that'll wrap us up here at the Corner Ballpark in the inaugural match for Corktown AFC. They come in with a 2-0 win over Rebels FC. We'll see these Corktown girls out here again next week in another friendly match. And Frank, any final thoughts as we kind of wrap things up here?
No, I think it went kind of as expected. I think everyone kind of expected this team to go out, figure each other out, try to settle in and build some chemistry out on the pitch. And, like you said, it was all about being patient. Good things will come. They were so close to getting frustrated or down on themselves. They just kept at it, and sure enough, they were rewarded. So 2-0 win. This is a huge win. Good things are to come from here on out.
All right. Remember to follow us on all of our social media, especially YouTube here and Instagram, Twitter at Corktown AFC for updates. And again, we'll be live streaming that game next week, the friendly matchup for Corktown AFC on July 28th. So stick around for more information on that. Until then, everybody, thanks for watching the inaugural match of Corktown AFC, a 2-0 winner over Rebels FC.